what are the implications? I mean, I think it's transparent that that this bill can be put to Parliament is indicative of the weakness of the opposition and the strength of the Tories majority, which by necessity makes it a very difficult task to defeat this bill here now. We can speak about parliamentary manoeuvres and resisting it in the streets. In all likelihood, I think this bill will go through. And as I said, I think that indicts the situation we're in. To take the slightly longer view, I entirely agree with Josiah that this is an issue of freedom of speech. And I think on the left, as progressives, as socialists, we need to be much fiercer about defending freedom of speech as a principle in the abstract, but also in practice. When things like this are thrown at us from the right, from this government, who themselves perversely have made freedom of speech a pet issue. So we need to be defending freedom of speech on university campuses, in the media, but also on the streets. And the last point that I wanted to make that I think is so important that we've not touched on yet is that this bill treats Gypsy, Roma, and Traveller people absolutely disgracefully. Liberty, the human rights organization, described the bill as a direct attack on the way of life for many people in these communities. And so I think, as the left, as progressive movements, we need to be sure that just as much as we're criticizing this bill on the basis of its restrictions of our ability to protest and exercise our democratic right to protest, we need to be equally, if not more, vociferous in our opposition to it on the basis that it is further penalizing, it is literally criminalizing the existence of one of the most marginalized group of people in this country. We need to do a far better job of building solidarity with GRT communities, and that involves sorting out our own house as well. I speak from the perspective of being a grassroots Labour activist, and I know that there are too many Labour MPs, there are too many Labour councillors who have an outright despicable attitude to Gypsy, Roma, and Traveller people in their community, and have for far too long colluded with the criminalisation and the marginalisation of that community. So that solidarity needs to be absolutely forefront, as well as the really fundamentalist defence of freedom of speech and our democratic rights too.